Hello, my name is Justin Timken, and my project is analyzing new businesses in a growing city. I wasn't sure what my project was going to be until the professor showed us the data sets for the different cities. After that, I looked around and saw the business registration one. After scrolling through it, I started thinking how many of these were actually local businesses. I grew up in Virginia Beach, and it's pretty clear that the city has grown, but in areas like Town Center or Lansdowne Commons, you don't see many locally owned businesses. Another area of concern is like down at the beach. One of my first jobs was at this store called Fun Shirts. The owner had a couple different shops down there, each with their own specialty souvenirs or beach supplies. The employees and the owner would often complain about Sensations stealing their business, but at the time I didn't think much of it. And now if you go down there, there's like Sensations every 5 blocks along the boardwalk. So with that in mind, I wanted to dig deeper in the data sets and see if I could determine whether these business licenses were from locals or if the city is just attracting like chain restaurants and retailers. After growing more interested in the idea for the project, I started to think of another angle, and that's when I found CNBC's top states for businesses. Surprisingly, Virginia was ranked number 1 for 2024. So this project also aims to determine how true that rating is and try to evaluate why that could be. So by comparing Virginia to 2 other cities from states ranked in the middle, New York, and the state that was ranked last, Hawaii, I hope to accomplish this. I chose Buffalo, New York, and Honolulu from these 2 states to compare. I wanted to keep the city sizes relatively similar for comparison purposes. Here you can see my timeline for the project, along with the data sources. I initially downloaded all of them, then uploaded them from my files. But in hindsight, it would have been better to mount the notebook to the Google Drive. After uploading them, I did a check to ensure everything was uploaded. For processing, I made copies of each set and attempted to remove duplicates. In an attempt not to sway the data from more towards commercially owned businesses, since they are more likely to have numerous locations if one is successful. I also removed a lot of unnecessary columns. So after cleaning them and making the copies, I played around with the Virginia Beach one a little bit to try and see how I could separate or determine the difference from local or commercial businesses. Here I decided that I didn't want out-of-state businesses to be included. So to me, this project is more about people or companies that are interested in the location enough to move resources here. It might seem like I'm being a little biased towards local owners or trying to give them a win by removing duplicates in this, but I think the data will show otherwise. So oh yeah, before I did that, I needed to make sure that Buffalo and Honolulu had the same time frame as the Virginia Beach one, since the Virginia Beach only went back to 2018, and after filtering them, the data sets shrunk dramatically. So this is why for the past 6 years, Virginia Beach looks like they have way more business, and we can see that this does not agree with the CNBC ranking, but perspective is everything here. So if I had chosen New York City, obviously it would have been double of what Virginia Beach is. But I think this brings up interesting dynamics between the 3 cities. 2 of them are very touristy, and the other is an older, more established city. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of businesses prosper in each. To separate the local and the commercial businesses, I used a couple keywords. And if any of these were in your name, you'd more than likely be a corporation, because I would never name Justin Timken Inc. And then for the commercial, or to separate the types of businesses, I also use keywords. you'll see like I'll show on the Buffalo one. There's like way more, but Virginia Beach was pretty general in their descriptions for their businesses, so it was easy. Here we can see the most popular commercial businesses in Virginia Beach was in the service industry, and this makes sense for reasons I mentioned in the intro. Thinking about all the shops and restaurants that have opened in prime locations over the years. I think it's pretty similar for the locals too, actually. You can see they're also doing pretty well number-wise. But we also have to consider that I filtered out like 10,000 of out-of-state licenses. The really interesting to me is the trends in business are generally similar, except for a little less in health and more in state. Here I want to highlight all the different keywords. I try to get like as much as the Buffalo and Honolulu businesses in the set as I could for the graph here. And for commercial businesses in Buffalo, we see like there isn't as many as compared to Virginia Beach, but again, it's mostly focused on service. And I think that makes sense if you assume it's the same for the locals, but it is not. Looking at this had me a little worried at first, but after thinking about it, it makes sense. Western New York is a rural area with a specific type of person with established traditions and culture. They probably see more value in maintaining their infrastructure of their city or improving on it than opening a competitor to their favorite wing spot. This could also be the reason why they have so many fewer commercial competitors compared to Virginia Beach. Virginia Beach is more of a melting pot of diverse cultures. There's not a single thing everyone here could probably agree on, which I think is a good thing. So Honolulu is more of a touristy city, so you probably expect it to be similar to Virginia Beach, and the commercial businesses kind of are. But it just has way fewer compared to the other one. The same for the locals. The locals one is very small, but what that mean is there's just not a lot of opportunity, as people have like loved going to Hawaii since Hawaii existed. This one is like still surprising though, since like there's essentially none. And the leading one was more focused on renting or real estate rentals. So maybe the locals see like their properties as their business opportunities. So we determine that CNBC list is good or bad depending on your perspective on certain cities, or where you would maybe from or looking to start a business, and that the most popular businesses are in the service industry. But my main concern was the locals, and this made me feel a little worse, honestly. Like if we consider around 8,000 local business licenses were acquired by normal people chasing their dreams, how many of those succeeded compared to roughly like the 25,000 commercial businesses if we add the out-of-state licenses to the commercial ones? I would love for Virginia to empower local businesses or young entrepreneurs, but I think this indicates that we're getting like more Chili's and sensations down at the beach. For future iterations, I think it'd be cool to look back in like 5 years and see how things stand. Maybe compare the increase over the years. I don't know if it's fair right now, considering COVID wasn't that long ago. That brings me to another point about the small time frame of 6 years. I do wish it was a little longer, but I was limited to what Virginia Beach had. And maybe compared to a couple of other growing cities, instead of like Buffalo and Honolulu. But, yep, that's it for me. Thanks for listening.